I'm your greatest strength. I'm your ace up the sleeve. I'm that thing that gives you a certain kind of sway, inner authority, stature that you didn't have before, standing taller in who you are now. I was hard earned, and I am your greatest strength. We're going to do another pick a portal of transformation read. I'm really feeling called to work with these reads in such a way where it helps us work with the challenges that are on our paths, as well as pull from our strengths and also just use them as tools for refinement and allow you all to bring your intuition forward in selecting a particular portal of transformation, just trusting which avenue you choose to explore to get the message you need at this time. And I like that cooperative energy, that co-creative energy coming through with that. But I don't want to do your typical, kind of pick a card sort of read. I want it to be a tool for transformation. And so let's look at what is your greatest strength this time. We looked at what the obstacle is. We named the obstacle. Now we're going to name your strength, okay? And we're going to see how that's going to be serving you as we move through this territory of eclipse season. But truly, this is timeless. So whenever you receive this, it's meant for you. If you receive this down the road, there may be something that ties back to eclipse season in August of 2026 that is being reanimated for you right now in some kind of aspect, perhaps with the next eclipse cycle when it comes in. Eclipses do tie together. There's something about the eclipse energy that's forward right now, and I think it's eclipsing a strength that you hold, a power you hold, something that is uniquely yours alone. It's your magic, it's your mojo, it's what you're working with. So we already looked at the obstacle. Now let's look at the other side of that coin and see what's working for you. What is your strength? What is your mojo, your magic? What is your greatest ace up the sleeve? That one thing that can get you out of a jam or get you out of a tight spot, a tricky situation, or difficult negotiations. What is flowing in your favor? We're going to do 3 separate reality tunnels here, portals of transformation. I'm working with the Arcane, the S deck, okay? And we're just going to divide it like so. Nothing fancy schmancy, nothing complicated, okay? You just simply pick whichever one you are gravitating toward. I'm going to start with the first pile first, and we'll just go in sequential order. Second pile is in the middle here, and then we got the third pile right here that's hanging out on the right. So you could see this as like the midway through, straddling the divide. That may draw you toward the middle path here that's open, path to discover your strength, or you may choose the left-hand path. You may choose the right-hand path, okay? Whatever speaks to you, but I'm going to just dive right into it. And these are going to be pretty succinct messages, okay? I want to keep it simple and just give you a point of reflection. Well, what your greatest strength is at this time is a very secret, creative power that you hold. You are bursting at the seams with creativity, and there's something you're working on quite secretly. It's undercover. You may not recognize the potential of this creative power you hold, this creativity, something you're creating here, something you've been working on, pondering. You don't understand the potential it holds to birth new beginnings in your life. I think this is something that you haven't told anybody about, So it's not any kind of project that you've discussed with other people. It's also something about you, a side of you that others do not know about. Maybe others don't know that you create art, or that you're a musician, or that you're a writer, or you're working on a film. This is something about your creativity, and it's concealed, it's secret, but it's about to be revealed, and it makes a big splash. It makes a big splash, I heard, when it's revealed. There's something about people being taken aback by the candor of it. There's something really raw and pure and authentic about it. And also just so uninhibited as well. Some of you may be writers that write specifically in the genre of erotica. I am getting that. Or you may have some kind of artistic expression where it really actualizes the shadow. In other words, it's a bit provoking. Often the greatest art is a bit provoking, you know? It takes us to our edge, and many people will see it or experience it differently. And there's something about the power of that too. Whatever this creativity is that you have, it's almost like, I'm seeing it as like a prismatic mirror, in that it reveals so many different aspects, facets of human nature. There's something that's very revealing about it, but there's also a lot about it that it really is revealed, the power of it, in concealment to the eyes of the beholder, whoever takes in whatever you're creating here. It's almost like it works a quiet magic, a very subtle magic. And it feels like it works the magic through that person's own perceptions, their psyche, and also their subconscious aspects. And there might be something about it that brings a lot of catharsis, a lot of healing. There might be something about this art you're creating that does really speak to the different transitions in life. There could be tinges of life, death, rebirth within your art, or there could be something about it that's very Plutonian. It's very underworld. It may be something dark that plays with shadow and light too. I'm getting this, okay? Whatever this is, it's something that it feeds a part of your heart in a way that nothing else does. And it's 8:08 on the clock with that. And so you may be surprised how much this is part of your purpose, and how much this is part of your way forward, and how much it really is time for you to spill the secret of this creative power you hold through sharing this. I think that you're about to be preparing to debut some creative endeavor or something you've been working on behind the scenes. And it may be a bit provocative. It may be something that, you know, it makes people think, or they're not sure how to react. And maybe even in some cases, people that you know, that you're really close to, because they've never seen this side of you, all right? But it is your greatest strength, whatever this is. Oh, I love it. Do you see? You're about to reveal something that nobody has ever seen before, and it is totally your mojo. So for some of you, it is how you work your magic. You work your magic through your art. That's how your power is expressed, whether that's through you playing your guitar, or if that's you dancing, or taking a brush to canvas, or molding clay, you know, whatever this is. Creating some kind of animation, you know, something in the realm of graphics, okay? There's something that you're creating here. It may even be something theatrical, or you may be getting an opportunity to really flex your chops and sort of what you've been studying privately. You may get a chance to debut it. Some of you may get a chance to debut it on a stage. Some of you may be playing a role in an upcoming production. It's your big reveal. It's like the mask falls away, and it's the death of the secret, but it's also the rebirth of you really moving forward in your life, where you're not hiding this, you know, this mojo you got working for you. I like it. I think that there is maybe going to be a little challenge in this regard, because I do feel like once this is shared, this creative power you hold, and you're no longer concealing your true identity, because to me, this almost feels like a struggling artist, but the struggle has been in not really fully expressing that, either because you feel what you have to express is very different, or you're not sure how people will react to it. Am I going to get canceled if I share, you know, this art, this expression? I think it's because something about it, it does break the algorithm, it breaks the programming. There may be something about what you're doing here that is quite counterculture, or it takes something that normally society may sweep under the rug, and it says, no, let's look at this. And there's something really powerful about whatever you're creating here, and however it's coming through. I am getting something about be aware though, because I think what you share here, it will have an impact. It has an impact in such a way that I think very quickly, with the way it's received, when you bring this forward, there are going to be people who recognize you're onto something. And when you have something that comes through in that pure of an expression, there are those that are like scavenger energies, that are greedy energies, even maybe corporate energies, some kind of entities that want to kind of get you into a contract or want to market it. And there's something about, it may be your greatest strength too, to just go it on your own and build it on your own, not signing a contract, representing yourself, and that protecting the power of this creativity that you hold and what you're creating here, what you're sharing here. I think you do need to be aware of this too. There is something where you could be undercut, where it could be the death of that freedom of expression that is what really gives your craft, your art, your creativity meaning, and makes it impactful, makes it something that does have a real potent effect on people who receive it. So there's something to be very aware of here. I think that's something you do need to navigate. And there could be somebody who sees, you know, what you hold here, and they may present a face that makes you feel like you'll always have the upper hand in the negotiation, but you need to make sure that you retain creative control. I really feel that you retain creative control, creative rights, creative property rights. Okay, this is something very important, because I do feel whatever you're going to be sharing here, there is something that gives you a measure of success that others will want to capitalize on. And I really feel like so much of your creativity, your art, and whatever you're sharing here, whatever this gift is that you're bringing forward, there's something about it that it's really informed by the deepest place inside of you. And it's your most authentic self kind of being put out there in a very raw, vulnerable way, which is what all great art is about. And there's something about you can't sell your soul. And so there's a little bit of a test, like when you're blessed with this level of creativity, I'm hearing creative genius, whatever this is, there's a little bit about when you're blessed like that, it comes with a higher responsibility in how you share it. Make sure that this doesn't get distorted, because I feel like whatever work you're doing, and you may say, oh, well, I don't really feel like I'm an artist, but everything that we can do in life can be done with artistry. It's when we bring our full creative power forward, and your creative power is really teeming right now. And it may be something that's kind of brewing behind the scenes. But the path that's opening up for you right now is to come into greater recognition of this and actually use it to create something that you're sharing with others here. And I do feel like it's going to speak loudly to the deepest parts of other people that they normally conceal. And there's something about it that's unmasking. It allows people to feel like they can open up more about their true selves too. There could even be something that you're creating here that almost inspires somewhat of a movement. It may even be like an online movement. There could be something that goes viral, right? But it goes viral in such a way that rather than feeding into the algorithm, it's almost like it disrupts it, because it's so unlike anything that normally enters that realm of being viral. And so it's also like disrupting the patterning of the structure that we've kind of been conditioned to. There's something that is a little bit of kind of counterculture, or very provoking about what you're creating here. And you know, anytime something like that gains traction, there will always be another, you know, entity out there that would like to have control of it. And that's when you can start to lose the heart of the power of what you're sharing here, because then it becomes homogenized, and then there's certain things you can't do or certain things you can't say, and then you've lost the vision. So there's really a message coming through here about making sure you don't lose the authenticity of this, and that you retain control of it, because it's your mojo, okay? And you might be better off going on your own than working with others in relation to this. And I do feel there's one key figure or entity here that will want to sign on with you for this, and they may be presenting a false face to you, or giving you the impression that it's going to be something that actually facilitates more traction for you, more expansion, or really gets your work out there. And actually, it may do the opposite if you lose the heart of this, okay? So don't sell out your dream with whatever this is. Cut of the deck. Yeah, and again, you know, you could be like a starving artist type. So here comes the fruit of temptation. But there's a little bit of funny business here, because if you take this deal, you may find that you get caught slipping. You know, there's something here that it's not going to offer as much as it promises. There's something compromising about it. And it looks like maybe it could be loyal to you. It's something that could support you. It could be loyal to your cause, because whatever this is that you're creating here, it almost is like a cause. It could inspire a movement. I got that. You know, there's something about it that it lights people up, or it inspires people, it moves people into action, or it gets people thinking about things in a new way. There's like traction with it. I really feel this. And if you trust a false face here that tries to get you into some kind of binding agreement, or takes creative control of this, it's going to be the annihilation of what was meant to be the fulfillment of your purpose here. This is a big part of your purpose, whatever this is that you're creating. So be loyal to the cause, not loyal to those who make empty promises that never deliver. All right? You need to follow this through, whatever you're working on here. And yes, do your big reveal, but understand that as you do this big reveal, and what's been concealed comes forward, there's going to be a lot of people who want to jump on that bandwagon. And if you kind of get pulled down that track, I feel like it leads you off the path of full expression of what this is meant to be. So if you were wondering, if you really should share something you're working on, or if you should actually start developing it, maybe it's just been something you've been considering. It's an idea you have. Yes, follow through, but make sure you retain that creative vision and don't let it get distorted by worldly things that promise some kind of a faster come up or some kind of material success that actually could leave you more at a loss than if you follow your own track with this. That's what I got, okay? Okay, so we have reality tunnel number 2, this portal of transformation coming in at 2038. So there's big alignment coming in for you, and there's judgment here. Trust your instincts. Your instincts are razor sharp right now with a new beginning that you are about to step into. Oh, I see. You're going to follow this with a vengeance. You're going to be unrelenting with this. There's something here where the strength of what you know is true for you in your heart and what it took for you to get back in your heart and reconnected in this space is what really serves you moving forward. Your heart is your power. What you have your heart invested in, something that's coming in here, if you're not aware of what this is yet, it's a direct result of you having to really shatter a lot of illusions. I feel like you had to reflect on some pretty heavy stuff as you went through some challenging territory. You moved through a lot of opposition. You had to face a lot of difficult truths. You also had to learn how to move through territory that could have kept you in a place of fighting off, fighting off It's coming through as self-generated distractions that are more something that was the byproduct of unconscious motivations. Like there's something here where you were able to have the ability to actually pull that up from the root, that stuff that maybe you didn't want to look at for a long time, things that you were afraid to confront. There's something here about really having an accurate reflection of yourself. You see yourself accurately. And you also recognize that you're not dealing with any kind of outside opposing force. Your strength is in understanding that the true empowerment comes through tempering yourself, overcoming the limitations within yourself. And I do feel like you've overcome a lot of self-imposed limitations. And as a result, you're in the strength of your heart right now. You're a lot more open in your heart. It's almost like somebody who is very fierce in the way that they love, because they have a true connection with love. They understand that love is not something that's marketed to you like it is in, a Disney fairy tale. They know it's not even about that. There's like a different perspective of love that goes beyond the usual way that human beings, by and large, relate to love being shared romantically between two people or between another that you greatly care for. This is more just really being in the energetic quality of love itself. Love as an octave, love as this force. And it's that force that drives you forward. There's something about you had to fight. This may seem like contradictory. You had to fight really hard to get back in your heart. And now that you're in your heart, you're not going to let anything take you out of that space ever again, because you really do see that it is your empowerment. So you may have had to shatter a lot of illusions. You may have needed to face off with what may have been provocation coming from another, where you felt attacked. But your means of defense, you could say, was not to go after the other. Instead, you let yourself be the answer. You let yourself be the resolution to any point of conflict by understanding where it was causing this contraction within you that actually became a bit of imbibing the poison to arrive at the cure. You started to understand that when you experience that contraction of conflict or deception or betrayal or anything that would take you out of that heart space, that it was futile, it was pointless to address it outside of yourself. You understood, I need to discover what is blocking me from being able to just shatter this illusion of this block that keeps me from really being centered in my heart. Why do I need to guard my heart? It's almost like you bought into somebody else's ideals or concepts about what it means to really open your heart. You may have heard that saying, that loving is a bit like handing another a knife and trusting that they won't wound you with it. And there's something about that where it's almost like the opposite for you. The more that you practice this defenselessness, not needing to defend, not needing to defend, just being in the truth of your heart, just resting in your heart, you recognize that all the obstacles, all the illusions, all of the resistant energy just instantly fell away. So you're moving forward very much centered in your heart. And it took a lot of battling shadow boxing, self-reflection, polishing the mirror, transmutation to get you in this space. And it's kind of a trip because it's almost like you're moving forward all heart. Like your heart is really what's directing your path forward here. And your heart is what gives you strength. It doesn't make you weak. It's actually the thing that is quite fierce. You know how to love fiercely. You know how to love unconditionally. You know how to love with no strings attached. And there's something about being wide open here that's helping you just really maybe even make it through some really challenging territory. Just sort of skating on through. No resistance. No resistance. Absolutely. So you have a new beginning coming in here because you grabbed that Scorpio territory by the tail. You didn't get caught up in its pinchers. You peeked into the taboo areas. You directly confronted your shadow. You were able to dance with the devil without falling under its sway. There's something that you were able to really bring into your conscious awareness here. And as a direct result, it broke the chains around your ability to really be in your heart. And there's a judgment in your favor here. This is also really coming through as doing some deep cleansing work, spiritual cleansing work, healing work, that comes through more of a shamanic kind of principle. So I don't really feel this is about taking cleansing baths or doing any kind of like purification rituals. It doesn't feel like that to me. To me, I see the frog medicine in relation to shamanism and that kind of cleansing, where to me it feels like you did a lot of deep soul integration. You did a lot of journeying work. You know how to navigate the underworld realms. You called back power. You called back soul parts. You called back the connection to your bloodline. There's something about your roots being really significant here. and it's awakening strength in you too, that helps you also navigate that deep territory, that dark territory. There may be some kind of new beginning coming into your life where your ability to navigate those realms, that territory, and the strength you hold in your heart to move through fierce territory unguarded, it might form a significant part of a skill that's going to be needed for an opportunity coming your way. You might be helping others work through some kind of transformational process. There may be some kind of healing you're facilitating here. Okay, there is a new beginning though. Judgment in your favor. If you were dealing with something that you felt had a hold on you for quite some time, I think you had strength to overcome this. Really beautiful. Really beautiful. Okay, so a new beginning is underway for you. There's something about recognizing with the filthy mattress, okay? This is about recognizing that you'd made a bed that you didn't need to lie in. That's how it's coming. That's how it's coming through. You had made a bed for yourself that you didn't need to lie in, but you made yourself comfortable there for a long time, where it did make you prone to others taking advantage of you, utilizing your energy to their own ends. There is this kind of sneaky and also greedy energy here that I think took advantage of that, you being in a place of complacency. But we see that you rose above that. So you're no longer resting in this space. You're tossing that bed out. You know, I don't need to lie in that bed anymore. I'm ready to get up. I'm ready to get moving. There might be something about your heart fire is really getting lit here, and there's something that you're aligning with your will on here, and it's getting you up. It's getting you moving. You're not bed rotting anymore, you know. You feel like you're ready to get up and get at them here with this, okay? You're taking something by the tail. You don't feel like something's got you in its hold anymore. You feel like you finally got to the other side of something, and you can hear the sounding of a new call here. Oh, wow, look at that. So you are absolutely at the very beginning of the birth of your dream. You got that cosmic carrot. You are working with that energy of Saturn and Neptune retrograde in Aries, and you are plucking a diamond from the void. It has everything to do with separating the wheat from the chaff. Like, there's something here that you did need to glean the field. It's giving me the impression of like a field of dreams that you had seeded in lifetimes past. And you had to look at what was growing there. And you had to decide what stays, what goes. And there's some point of delineation here that you exercised really sound judgment. And as a result of mastering that territory, so it's sort of like mastering the 8th house in terms of confronting shadow, confronting what needs to die so there can be a renewal of energy, embracing life, really taking life by the tail and taking it for a ride instead of feeling like life always has you in its grasp and you don't have an ability to change your circumstances. I feel like it's really calling yourself to the mat too. And there's something about you recognizing that you had to change, you had to transform. You couldn't stay in a place of complacency with certain challenges that you moved through. It made it very clear to you that the old way was coming to an end. And rather than you resisting that death, you embraced it. And because you embraced it, it's like giving you this ability to wield that scythe, because you're able to really understand what needs to be cut away and where the harvest is. And this is what's giving you the activation of your dream and that cosmic carrot. Now there's something here too. It is like mirroring this message to really make sure that you stay in this place of making hay while the sun shines. There's time for rest, right? But then there's time to really tend to the field. And I feel like you got a harvest brewing here, and it's directly related to your dreams. So there's something about just because you've had this moment where you did catch up a tricky force by the tail, and now you're experiencing what's on the other side of that, and there's the new beginning. You can feel the new energy coming in. You recognize you're in a different position. Just as this energy comes in, don't get idle with it, okay? Idle hands are the devil's playthings. And I'm saying that in regard to the devil being those subconscious aspects of ourselves that would like us to refrain from stepping into the light further. Because when we do move further into the light and the outward expression of what we've learned on the inner planes, there's responsibility that comes with that. You know, you got to represent that. And there's a way that you have to show up. And you really can use that as, I'm hearing a recalibration point. If you do start feeling lazy, okay, if you do start to notice that you're kind of dropping the ball on things, or procrastination starts to come in for you, that's the pinchers, okay? That's the pinchers for you. You want to make sure that you're staying on the other side of that, because there's something about if you become lazy or if you procrastinate too much, this is when it leaves you exposed to scavenger energies. And that may even be the work of kind of sneaky forces that prevent you from really giving birth to this dream, because there's something of importance with this dream here that needs to come through. It has that judgment charge around it. So be aware of that, okay? Keep it moving at this time. Keep it moving. Follow through fall. I'm hearing it's really important to root your dream. Don't let up, all right? You're going to have to really, you know, stay on track here. It may mean you have to like shatter those illusions as they come forward, things that tell you why it's okay to put it off till tomorrow, you know. That could very well be your nemesis. But as long as you stay in the power of your heart, it will give you the fire you need to continue on this track to bring this dream to full fruition. I feel like it's something that is really needing to be anchored in the fall, okay? That's where it's going to have its greatest strength to get rooted and become all it's meant to be. So don't delay it. You gotta work with that energy now, whatever that is, okay? Ooh, all right. And finally, we have reality tunnel number 3 coming in at 3817. So alignment with your north node. You're finding your star just in the nick of time. Your strength is, you may think that time has passed you by, or that time is out of your hands. You may feel like in some way you're misaligned because you wasted too much time. You may feel like something is passing you by, when the reality is nothing's passing you by. What seems to have escaped your grasp actually is the seed of your transformation. Got moth medicine coming in here. There's something there that was misaligned. And so you may have actually delayed taking an action. And you don't recognize that in delaying, in taking that action, that was actually your avatar at the wheel. That was the part of you that could see further ahead, that has a direct link to creative power, to creator, however you relate to that. that creative force of nature that flows through all of us. There's something here where that higher aspect of you was at the wheel in creating delays, which is kind of funny with the message that came in for reality tunnel number 2 there. There could be a little connecting point, this thing about timing. Maybe there was something that needed to be calibrated there. You might want to tune into reality tunnel number 2 if you chose this particular reality tunnel. There could be a connecting point there. I feel like whatever passed you by was in perfect timing, and it needed to be released because of a certain alignment that's coming up ahead for you that actually opens up your new chapter here. This missed opportunity is already something that was written in the record books. This is something that was meant to happen. It's not misalignment. It was 40:44 on the clock. There's a lot of synchronicity, divine play around this. And I feel like it's quite unusual the way your synchronicity comes in. Synchronicity always has something to do with timing. But rarely do people recognize the value and the potency of the timing being off and how that actually realigns us and gets us on a track that we wouldn't have been on otherwise. And you're about to discover that this is actually where your story begins. Because of something that was delayed, now there's actually a way through to transformation, so something new can open up for you here. And it's very much fated. So there's something that's already determined here. This was meant to happen, this delay. It had to happen that way. But now the synchronicity is coming in to show you what perfect timing it is that opportunity was lost because of what it makes possible for you now, all right? So actually, you're a bit of a time bender, whether you realize it or not. Your delay tactics work in your favor because they prevented you from exploring a path that really would have soured you, disappointed you, and rerouted the story of your life in such a way where it would have taken you out of your power. And it's funny because it's almost like you feel a bit powerless because you feel like you don't have the ability to recapture something that you feel passed you by. And yet there's more to a story here as you're about to discover. You're about to discover how time works in your favor. Okay. Ooh. Digging ghost. Digging ghost. Isn't that funny? Look at this. Look at that. It's almost like spirit is here helping you retrieve a part of you that was lost to the past long ago. There's a reason why you keep feeling like you need to dig deeper into something. Your curiosity about that, or perhaps this is a regret that you have. There's something about that regret or what you feel like you need to dig deeper into. There's something about curiosity or something that's a mystery to you. And you have to dig deeper into it. There's something that is really compelling you to dig deeper into this. It may be something in relation to your past. It's possible. I also feel it's just something that you're puzzled by. There's something you don't understand, or it's a mystery to you. That inquisitiveness, that curiosity, that is your greatest strength at this time. It's almost coming through as a compulsion, like it's something you can't help. Like, I can't just let this sit. I have to dig deeper into it. And it's almost like you're reaching for the moth that's going through the fire of transformation, the moth that's drawn to the flame. It's almost like it's this part of you that was buried in the past that is trying to reach for the flame so you can be consumed by it. Like there's some kind of truth that you find there that brings about transformation and activates your path of purpose. So it opens up this new chapter that's in the record books. So keep digging. There's a reason why you feel compelled to keep going deeper into it. There's something that you need to find there. It's almost like the need to keep digging is almost haunting you. And I think it's a part of you actually that is needing to be recovered, because this part of you that may have been left in the past is ready to be reclaimed. It's so critical that you have this part of you embodied as you move forward on your path. It's opening up a new chapter for you. This feels very much like retrieving power, retrieving an empowerment, retrieving your magic. It may have something to do with exploring your roots too. But what you want to dig deeper into, what you have curiosity about, what you can't seem to turn away from, there's something there that is very important to the storyline moving forward for you. And it's in the record books. Okay, let's do a cut of the deck and see what we got for you. Ooh. See, it's like the more you dig, you get the truth you need, and you cut off something that it's almost acting as like a knot in the timeline. Something that has held you in a place of constant deliberation, constant reflection. But there's almost like it's an energetic patterning. It's holding latent energy in place. And only when you recover this truth and you make contact with a part of yourself, a connecting point maybe from the past, that you're able to finally understand what's been binding up your power, what's been holding your power in place. And then suddenly, what's been holding that in place is released. There's freedom. There's freedom. And you reclaim your crown. It's almost like you're remembering a time when you wore the crown, and yet you felt it was lost. Or you felt really sure of yourself. And then something shook your worldview, or how you saw yourself, or what you saw as being possible for you. Or other people started to have more control over how you saw yourself, or how you saw possibilities for yourself. And it's like a reclaiming of this. It's like reclaiming your crown in some way. And there's wisdom here. And it frees the mind from something that has also been too fixated on one point for a while. And yet, it's interesting. If you haven't checked out that read I did, it's similar to this style, where you get to pick a portal of transformation. I'm the obstacle. Okay? For you, there's this stoic tenet that is coming through, and I feel like it really applies. The obstacle is the way. The obstacle is the way. And there's a reason why you keep going back to that. But there's something about dig deeper. Trust what you feel compelled to dig deeper into, because you're going to find the source of what's binding the energy, and it frees you from a holding pattern. And as you retrieve this awareness, then you also reclaim your crown. And you experience the exaltation of the energy. Look at that. There's this reclaiming your crown. There's also something about wisdom, magic being activated within you too. It is coming through with very much that energy of Ishtar, Inanna, the descent, but then the ascension. See, you're in real deep transformational territory right now. Got the snake medicine coming in here, the direction of the south. And you're in this position right now where you're finding the balance. You're about to have illumination of what's been binding your energy and keeping you in a conflicted space. You're about to experience a merging point. There's something very alchemical happening in you here. I do feel like you're reclaiming magic as well. There's some kind of empowerment that you are going to hold. Owl may be coming through as a totem for you, a guide for you. You are moving into the ascension phase. There's a recognition of what it's really time to give the finger to. Something that you no longer need to buy into, something you no longer need to tolerate. I also feel like you're putting grief behind you. You may have been outcasted in some way. You may have felt really misunderstood. You might be very different from other people. You may have been used to accepting just, what little piece of the pie, you could get your hands on. And that may have had to do a lot with feeling like you never really could get your true sense of fulfillment because in some way you were misunderstood, or in some way I got outcasted. But the fact that you are different, and the fact that you do march to the beat of your own drum, and the fact that you see things differently, it is going to be the source of your empowerment and your strength in the future. You may be rising up out of the mud and the muck, but there's a lot of transformational power that's about to get rooted in your life here. And when you work your magic, it does liberate you. This is finding a sense of elevation. This is rising up out of all the BS from the past and reclaiming your crown and a clear vision for moving forward here. You are finding the way through. You're not going to be held back any longer. And you're entering into your ascension phase, elevation phase here. There's also something about digging deeper into some challenges you're having with your digestion and elimination, all right? It's actually something that's interfering with you being elevating on an energetic level. Like something is out of harmony with some kind of energetic process that's happening in your body. Start paying more attention to the energetic component of the foods you're eating, how it's affecting your energy. You may actually find that your diet starts changing quite a bit. There's something here about your alchemizing a lot of energy right now, and you may be experiencing difficulty digesting certain foods, or you may feel like you get, kind of bogged down and you find it difficult to eliminate. Intestinal stuff relates to our ability to let go. It also has a lot to do with fear, the way we store up fear. So there may be something you do need to let go of. You need to transform. You need to shed something here so you can really come into recognition of the power you hold, so you can see through some kind of deception. I feel like it's a deception that's been keeping you from really accessing the true nature of who you are and retrieving a part of yourself that maybe did get outcasted, or you may have silenced this part of you because of some kind of judgment that was placed around it. And yet, you reclaiming this aspect of you is allowing you to put some kind of pain behind you. So this could be something that was inflicted through some kind of trauma. There may be something about trauma and shame patterns and the fear of really stepping into the truth of who you are and letting that be seen, that does require you to confront your fear pretty directly here. There may be a confrontation of these things that have held you back or have made you feel that you are an outsider. That you're an outsider even when you're surrounded by many, and yet there's something that you're transforming here. And it's allowing you to build a bridge from your head to your heart. And that bridge is what's leading you to a new vision of who you are and your life experience and even the difficult traumatic things you've been through. And it's actually those things that have allowed you to hold a very special alchemical ability. I feel like you're able to really transmute shadowy energies. You're even able to transmute shadow projections that others try to send your way, okay? However they do that, through their judgments, or, you know, if you know alchemists, even if people try to cast stuff on you, it doesn't stick because you're too familiar with navigating the dark. And you do understand the potency that's there too. It's like the more you dig into the mystery and the more you follow your desire to get into the thick of it, really go down to the roots of something that you can't look away from, the more power you discover, the more it leads you into ascension. But there's something here that as you discover this, you do need to be aware of how it starts to affect your physical body, because there may be some kind of refining you need to do. You need to become more energetically sensitive to the foods you're eating. It all is in tandem, really. And when we're looking at alchemy, people like to dissect things. They say, oh, you know, I'm having, you know, tummy troubles. I'm having digestive issues. Well, your body is communicating about something that's going on energetically too, spiritually, emotionally, you know. By the time it gets to the physical, it's already passed through all the other layers. It's already passed through all of the thought process. It's channeled through all of the stuff our mind informs us of in relation to experiences we've had in the past. All of that, it goes into our cellular memory. It does affect the way our body is functioning. And so there's a bit of magic that you can reclaim here too, I feel, if you're really paying attention to the care of your body and how your body is responding to certain things. So there's some impression I have here that you're digging deeper into the past, into something that's a mystery to you. The deeper you dig and you don't resist this, because there's something about it haunting you almost, you feel compelled to go deeper into the mystery of something, the more parts of you retrieve, the more you call your power back from what's had a hold on you in the past, the more you integrate this, the more you come back into your own essential nature. The more that this happens, certain things start to fall away. Your body starts to communicate to you. It's like a refining process that's underway. And so there's so much you can learn at this time through listening to your body, trusting what it's telling you, instead of just continuing to eat things on autopilot. If every time you eat pizza, you notice that you feel unwell, you feel bogged down, you feel tired, you're lethargic, your energy is not running, you know, at its maximum efficiency levels. There's something about respect that. Cut it out. Get in touch with your body. What is your body wanting now? you're going to see that as you start to get more in touch with what your body's telling you in terms of how you eat, how you rest, allowing your body to just release emotions when they come up instead of trying to stuff them down, the more you have emotional release, you're also going to recognize that the physical problems also start to dissipate here. So there's something about your health improving too, the more you dig deeper into something. If you've been dealing with a health challenge as well, you may need to tackle it from more of an emotional angle. You may not realize how much your emotions are related to what's going on with your physical health. But either way, I see you getting free of it. I see you healing a lot of deception. Self-deception too. Self-deception in relation to not trusting your own judgment about what's needed here, or what needs to be researched further, what you need to look into more thoroughly. To your own self, be true. You know better than any outside authority exactly what's needed here. That's what I'm hearing. So I do feel like there's a healing process underway, and your healing process is one of reclaiming, and you're really coming back into your position of power here. There's something that is really going to help you retrieve your crown. It keeps coming through like that. And I think that will have significant personal meaning for you. And I also feel like there's nervous system restoration here. What used to throw you into chaos, you've mastered here. So you're not getting activated anymore. But the body is such a powerful link for you at this time. So pay attention to that, because you are going to be more sensitive as you start to dig deeper in this direction. You recover more of your essential nature as you heal and you start to put the grief behind you. Because I feel like you are in this space. You're moving out of the underworld territory, and you're in the process of really going through your transformation at this time. But as you do, like, support the process physically. That's how it's really coming through, with listening to your body. Don't eat things that are making you feel off, you know? If you recognize that when you're kind of like lazing around a lot, it's starting to cause problems with your back. If you're starting to feel run down, you know, get some movement in. Like, really respect the inclinations of your body. That's interesting too. You may even feel like refraining from intimacy. You may feel like, I want to be in a place of celibacy for a while. And trust that if you're feeling that, because that's also like, it's something about really building the energy within you to prepare it for some kind of external expression. But right now it's all recalibrating on an energetic level, on a spiritual level, and it absolutely is going down in your physical body. So support this process as you're doing this deeply integrative work, and you are coming back into your power, and you are reclaiming these parts of yourself that may have been cast in shame. And you're starting to feel the strengthening of that, and you're recognizing that you're more and more every day coming back into this place where you feel like you've reclaimed your crown. That's how it's being expressed here. I know that'll mean something to whoever is receiving this. But it's beautiful, okay? It's beautiful. You're finding the way through. And if you've had a major health issue here, I feel like you're healing. You're healing yourself. You're healing yourself. Mind, body, spirit. Your power is in your healing gifts. So trust how they're being activated in you now. Because healer, heal thyself. You're healing yourself. But it's going to bring a lot of healing to your life and healing to others too. Wow. Really powerful message for you. Beautiful. And you may have healing gifts that are awakening in you too. And these are gifts that are part of your purpose and gifts that you're going to be sharing with others. So right now it's all about getting yourself aligned, you know, and following through with this. Very powerful. Okay. Godspeed.